Hello mate, my name is Steve, r/ask credit by Ask Planet. What misconceptions did you have about S when you were younger that you find laughable now? My older brother advised me to use Crisco for lube when having S-X for the first time. He said that it was inexpensive, slippery, and would last longer. When the time came, the girl I was dating was horrified. She said, "What do you think I am, a frying pan? You should never use Crisco. It's shortening." Not me, but a buddy from high school. The group of us all thought we had about the same understanding about the mechanics of S-X. Apparently that was not the case. This buddy of ours gets himself into a relationship and he and his girl are about to take it to the next step. The first time they have S-X, he apparently stopped midway through with a strange look. When his girlfriend asked him what's wrong, he told her he wasn't sure how he was going to get his nads in there too. I'd pay money to see the look on her face after that. I remember at the tail end of high school a group of us we were sitting under a tree talking about S-X when one guy suddenly declares his hatred for doggy style, ranting about the smell and the poo on his knob and how it didn't feel good for him and his girlfriend, but everyone seems to love it. Everything just went silent and we all started looking at each other. Then this one guy pipes up and says, You know you can put it in her bike from behind, right?" I'll never forget the sudden look of realization that appeared on his face when he heard that, and then proceeded to pretend like he was just testing us. Now that is a story for the history books. Yep, one for the annals of history. I thought if you thrust your hips really, really fast, you'd be like a human toy that women couldn't resist. The old jackhammer. I thought during S-X the guy would pee into the girl's bag, which was where I thought women peed from, and the pee that entered the girl and be peed back into the guy's knob, and that cycle would continue until both of us fell asleep. What are you, R. Kelly? Were you inspired by the episode of Dave Chappelle "I'm a pee on you, yes it's true"? When I was 11, all of my friends and I thought that you could never get a girl pregnant if the condom was black. We thought the sperm would get lost or too confused to find an egg in the dark. This caught me off guard, ha 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 ha. Always thought the vag opening was roughly where the slong would be on a guy. Kinda surprised at how far back I had to go when I first found out. Lol. I thought the same. My poor first girlfriend suffered through me rubbing her fupa and asking her if it felt good. Upvote for fupa. I genuinely 100% thought that some men had hollow knobs and that's how gay S-X worked. Edit, I mean the back. I thought some of them things was stackable. That's called docking. I thought a man simply placed his knob in the vag, no thrusting, and after a while fertilization just occurred kinda magically. Yes, the Amish method. Mormons refer to that as soaking. I thought shagging meant rubbing your bums together. I used to play the original version of The Sims quite a lot back in 2001 when I was 12. I used to think in order for a woman to become pregnant, they had to make out over and over until bam, pregnant. That's how it worked in the game. I thought that's how it worked in reality as well. Until a few months later, the school counselor gave us, a group of 7th grade boys, the talk. I always wondered why my sister laughed when The Sims would play in the vibrating heart-shaped bed. 12-year-old me thought they were just wrestling and being silly. Then when I was maybe 14, I found out some more details about it and I freaked out. That I would have to be, gasp, naked in front of my partner and my partner would be naked too. No doubt. Interestingly enough, when I was 10 or 11, we got my first dog, and that's when I learned about when female dogs are in heat and they had to get spayed so they don't end up having puppies. I kind of made a joke about the male dog next door magically getting our dog pregnant, since I still didn't really know how that worked. I didn't realize that both our dogs would have to actually have I thought, just the mere presence of the male dog would have magically gotten ours pregnant. And yes, I knew pregnancy lasted 9 months and the baby didn't pop out of nowhere in a colorful cloud of smoke. My mum is a doctor, so she brought me and my siblings up to be comfortable talking about body parts so that we would understand what was and wasn't okay for people to do. When she first told us how babies were made, I asked how people were supposed to have sex without seeing each other since it's not okay to look at other people's private parts. 10-year-old me then went on to literally describe what I now know to be to my parents. Your mom must have tried so hard not to laugh at that time. She still does. As embarrassing as it is, I have to admit that it's pretty hilarious. Even still, it's only the second most embarrassing thing I said when I was a kid. I think now we all want to hear the first most embarrassing thing. I don't think I ever had any actual misconceptions, as I learned from a very early age exactly what happens, but I did have a hard time understanding how both urine and sperm can come out the urethra. Without any knowledge of the internal anatomy of that area, it's just weird that the same hole/tube has two different purposes. I couldn't fathom how two different inputs could connect to the same output, so to speak. I mean, your mouth does the same with air, food and water. Sometimes urine and sperm also. That sperms are separate people, like with hands and feet, and they can walk obviously. So, yeah, they get out of men bottoms, not aware of anatomy completely but bottoms. Okay. And then they work hard, climb heights and swim oceans to go to the women's bottoms, because they are small in size, so even a 10-centimeter height is a mountain height for them. And all the while they have to be safe, because what if they get crushed under the bodies of these people while sleeping? And all this had to be done while people sleep. So, it was a tough hard journey for the sperms to meet eggs in women bottoms, and then baby is born. Let me introduce you to the homunculus. Thank you so much. I love Reddit. I learn new things. I thought men's nipples were just like women's nipples. I was so shocked when I realized you guys can't detach them. Excuse me, what? Wait, what, detach? We have to wash them once in a while. I lost one of mine back in high school in the showers. I suspect one of the jock kids took it as a prank. I mean, I was a pretty nice nipple, I don't blame him. Luckily I was able to get a decent enough replacement from Amazon, even lights up and everything. According to my school sex ed lessons, it will eventually lead to falling off hands and decrease in IQ. It's also impossible to have before getting married. If you get pregnant before getting married, you probably watched too much porn or are a mass addict. Oh, and of course you can have safe sex using condoms, but they're unnatural and will land you in hell for using them. Just look at those anime cartoons. The best contraceptive is pulling out, but of course you shouldn't ever need it, since equals murder. Since sperm cells are possible children, anytime you have sex and don't get your partner pregnant, you essentially murder them all, so you should confess at church and donate. Maybe God will forget you for being a filthy murderer. Of course, if you won't forget, you filthy murderer that enjoys killing. Ideally a married couple with 2 children only ever had 2 times and never had to live in sin. Of course pigs are bad and forbidden words, so don't you dare ask questions. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why you don't let fanatics of Catholic Church lessons. I swear the first time my friends tricked me into watching hentai, I learned more about sex than in a whole year of that education. The Planet Reddit team has been working overtime trying to bring you the best content. Thank you for supporting Planet Reddit.